ATS News, covering Athens, Troy, and Sparta. Brought to you by Battle Hardware and Accessories. First dirt road west of the Acropolis. This week only, all shields half off.
Breaking news. Medusa wreaks havoc in downtown Athens. Handmaidens are turned to stone at the Sparkling Togas Laundry. More on this story later.
A visit with Aristotle with Karen Brown.
Good evening. We're here with famous philosopher Aristotle. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight, Karen.
Okay, what type of student was Alexander the Great? I heard you were an instructor for him.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of rumors about Alexander. I mean, he worked hard, but he did have a hard time focusing also. And I really don't know if he ever fully embraced my philosophy of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I really question whether I had much of an impact on him. But sorry, no real gossip or tidbits for you for him.
Oh, okay, that's pretty amazing. Okay, you and Plato disagreed on human nature. What is the source of that disagreement?
Plato sees the world as a utopian place where people look after one another and they're good to one another. But in reality, men are imperfect. There's a struggle for power and wealth that creates men who are willing to make moral sacrifices in a quest to achieve success. I look at the world in more practical terms than Plato did. I see men with all their frailties and weaknesses. Plato would say, kick back and relax. I say that people will work to survive and achieve.
That's an interesting concept. Okay, you wrote that human nature is driven by a pursuit of material goods, yet you also say a person can have too much. Are these opposite points, and do they put you in conflict with the wealthy Greeks?
People need resources to survive. They need food, housing, companionship to be comfortable in the world. Having these things may not make you happy, but without them, happiness is very difficult. As a species, we are sometimes called Homo economicus, because without wealth creation, we can't have the necessities. That is, it's not just enough to have stuff to live on, to get by with. Living well means our needs are met, and there's leisure time to explore and to learn. We need enough to not worry about where the next drachma is coming from. We need an adequate money source to secure our future so that we have peace of mind and are able to concentrate on higher pursuits. Money's not the goal. The support of leisure time is the goal of money. Yes, some wealthy Greeks may have made money the goal, but again, they make a sacrifice about their life. Leisure provides the ability to work at something you enjoy and explore learning.
Okay, you talk a lot about what makes people happy. What is happiness?
Let me read you something I wrote about happiness. Happiness, living blissfully and beautifully, is said to consist mainly of three things which seem most desirable. Some say the greatest good, some say honor, some pleasure. Some also dispute the magnitude of the contribution made by each of these elements. Some declaring the contribution of one to be greater. Some saying wisdom is a greater good than honor, some the opposite, while others regard pleasure as a greater good than either. And some consider happiness to be a compound of all, or of two of these, while others say it consists of one alone. And really, I believe it is a combination of all of those things that make one happy. Happiness has a definite meaning and definable source. And really, it is the pursuit of happiness that's important. Happiness is an activity of the soul in accordance with virtue. And if there is more than one virtue in accordance with the best and most complete, and in a complete life. Happiness is the highest of all goods achievable by actions. It's more of a product of actions than a psychological condition that many feel.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Any final thoughts?
Let me read you something else I wrote. I've written quite a few things. It's impossible, at least not easy, to do noble acts if one is unequipped. In many actions, we take friends, wealth, and political power serve as that equipment. Furthermore, the lack of certain instrumental goods, such as being born to successful parents, having good children, and good looks, will take the luster off our efforts to find happiness. For one who is extremely ugly in appearance, ill-born, solitary, or childless, is not likely to be happy, and he is still less so if he has extremely bad children or bad friends, or if he has lost good children and friends by their early death.
That's pretty interesting. Well, thank you, Aristotle. Thank you for being my guest.
Well, thank you for having me on.
ATS News keeps you informed.